I was actually born and raised up in a little small central Texas town called Jewett, Texas. There were approximately 447 people in Jewett, 446 now since I left. There were 5 kids in my family. My dad worked for the railroad company. My mom ran the household, and she raised the 4 kids to do what they needed to do in order to be successful. My parents believed strongly in education. They required all of us to attend college, and we did. Education became our big differentiator in our family. One of the jobs that I had in high school was I worked on a ranch, and that ranch was actually owned by Glenn and Judy Lilly. They were diehard University of Houston alumni, and they always told me, if you don't do anything else, you have to attend the University of Houston. So it started way back then. I called the University of Houston the jewel on the Gulf, because it is such a tremendous university, and it's right here in our backyard. I actually graduated as an accountant and went to work for Dow Chemical, and I worked for Dow for over 25 years, and then got an opportunity to do a stint in HR. I ended up staying, and I never went back to accounting after Dow. Went to work for a company called Reliant Energy, then went to work for the successor company called Centerpoint Energy, then moved on to another class organization called Anadarko Petroleum. I ended my career as the regional president of Blue Cross Blue Shield. Most of the things that I'm doing right now involve service. It's working with other organizations. Most of those organizations are nonprofit. I work with the Houston Hispanic Chamber. I also sit on the foundation board for Sam Houston State University. Recently, Governor Abbott appointed me to the Correctional Health Board for the state of Texas. Jocelyn and I have been married for 40 years, and we've got 2 wonderful kids, Sean and Alexis. And Jocelyn was a professional as well. She completed her bachelor's degree and also completed her master's degree, and she was a school teacher for over 30 years. When I provide service to others, and it's always about, is it going to make a difference with that organization or those individuals in the outcome for their lives, if you will. And so if I'm making a difference, you'll find me there. This award for service is kind of the hallmark of all the things that happened to me over my career. When I first got the call about the award, I was totally silent, which is atypical for me. It was like an out-of-body experience where I'm sitting there looking at myself, and when Mike is telling me this, I'm going, "You talking to me? Are you talking to me?" I was filled with so much honor, humility, and I am eternally grateful to the University of Houston, and that will always be special in my mind and be one of the high points of my life.
Presenting Preston with his award this evening are 2002 Distinguished Service honorees Dr. Glenn and Judy Lilly. Ladies and gentlemen, Preston Johnson Jr. That's a lot of medallions.
Talk close to the mic. Okay, all right. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your schedules to be with us here tonight. There's probably 1,001 things going on in Houston that you could be involved in, but you came here, so we thank you so much for that. I'll say good evening to you, and I also thank you for the warm and wonderful introduction. The Distinguished Service Award, as I reflect on it, I saw a quote recently, and that quote simply said, and it epitomizes the essence of the award, it said, "You have never really lived until you've done something for someone else who you know is never going to pay you back. And so as I think about that, I love living so much, so I do a lot of something for a lot of people, and I try to continue that. So I'm going to take this moment, a special moment, to thank and show appreciation to the University Board of Regents, Chancellor Qatar, the Alumni Board of Directors, the Selection Committee, Mike Paday, Nancy Clark, and far too many other people to name individually, but my guess is that they know who they are. In receiving this prestigious award tonight, I represent some 300,000 University of Houston alumni around the globe. And when I thought about it, I said, you know, 1 out of 300,000, and I'm going, hey, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it? And then I said, I've got to think also about the other people. Every day, those 300,000 alumni around the globe are helping others, and they're making a difference in the lives of others, and the people here in this room are doing the same thing. So I encourage each of us to pick up the banner of service when the opportunity presents itself. The age-old question becomes, if I do not stop to help those in need, what will happen to them? And so I always think about that, and I say to myself in receiving this award, making a difference one at a time makes a difference for all. So tonight, placing service above self honors a proud tradition of this great university and our country. To be a recipient of this award serves as a pinnacle, if you will, in my career, and shines a light on a lifetime body of work dedicated to the principles of duty, honor, and country. So tonight, University of Houston, I thank you so much, but I also thank those who ingrained in me early on the idea of service to others versus self-fulfillment. So I thank you tonight, Jocelyn Johnson. I thank you tonight to the late Preston and Versi Johnson. I thank the late Laura and Ed Brown. I thank the very living and alive Glenn and Judith Lilly, Ken and Charlene Kern, Milton and Cindy Carroll, and a host of other people. Thank you so much for this award, and I look forward to continuing to serve, for this award is very important to me. Thank you again, and good evening.